Hey there, welcome back to Embrace Our Calling. I'm Marcus Bock, and today we are at our fourth episode exploring our second A of calling, which is affinity. Now, affinity may sound like a big word to you, and really it means an attraction to or a liking for something. It is like that natural pull towards certain type of work or activities that might just be pointing us towards our calling. And yes, I choose the word affinity because it fits into the 4A of our calling framework. And it also reminds us of that big word that everyone talks about when it comes to calling, which is passion. But not every passion leads to your calling. Now, as a teenager, I was absolutely in love with Mandarin pop songs, and I would sit by the radio with my finger on the record button, just waiting to capture my favorite song on the cassette tape. And I would spend hours, trying to guess and write down the lyrics because at that time I couldn't afford to buy albums, and without the internet, you cannot search for the lyrics online. So I was so into singing that I would hum a tune everywhere I go. And here's the thing though, and my wife would confirm it with a laugh, that nobody will ever pay me to sing. In fact, they might even pay me not to sing. So my interest in singing, as genuine as it was, is not my calling. Although I must say that my interest in Chinese pop song did ignite my love for Chinese poetry. But that's something for next time. And this brings us to an important thing that we all need to understand about calling. There's this popular advice that has been going around that says, follow your passion and you will never walk a day in your life. Have you heard that before? Sounds cool, right? Find what you love doing and you are set for life. So this advice has been going around, and many people attribute this advice of following your passion to Steve Jobs, because Steve Jobs makes a famous commencement speech at Stanford University where he said, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Yep, follow your heart and you will find your calling and success. So if we follow his line of thought, then we will think that Steve Jobs must have started with his burning passion for computers and technology, right? But guess what? Steve Jobs himself wasn't initially passionate about technology or business. When he was at Reed College, he studied Western history and dance, and he was more interested in Eastern mysticism than computers. So he even at one point contemplated becoming a Buddhist monk. And so if Steve Jobs followed his heart at that point, then I guess I wouldn't be recording my podcast on my Apple iPhone at this point. So his success in business and technology didn't start with his passion or interest. So you see, our passion is different from our calling. Now, while our passion can motivate us, it is not enough on its own. And we each have our own strengths and limitations. And, despite what popular media and some gurus might try to say, we can't be anything we want to be just because we are passionate about it. So it is possible to love doing something, but not have the natural affinity for it. Remember my story about singing? So if I start from passion and interest and I ask my student what are they most interested in, guess what? 9 out of them would say video gaming. But does it mean that all of them should aspire to play video game professionally, or they design video game for a living? Now I know of some young adults who took this path and later they regret their choice in life, because enjoying a hobby like gaming is very different from making a living out of it. So, what can our passion and our interests, our affinity teach us about calling? So, let me share with you 3 insights that will help you connect your affinity to your calling. The insight number one is this, that true affinity goes deeper than mere liking. Your interest can be a very fickle thing, and it can change based on what you feel like doing or what your friends around you are doing. But your affinity are more like a natural fit. It is a resonance with who you are, and it's about something that aligns with your values, your personality, who you are as a person. And your likes and dislikes do say a lot about how God made you to be. So, sometimes it helps to make a distinction between true passion and just interest. And your interest may say something about your true passion, about what you are really passionate about. So let's use the gaming example and take it one step further. If you like gaming like many of my students, you take a step back and ask yourself, what is it that you like about gaming? Now, some people enjoy the sense of achievement that they gain. So they might like work that relates to attaining goals and meeting targets. And others, they enjoy the social aspect of gaming. And so they may enjoy work that involve working in a team. And I can even ask my student one step further. When you play a game like Mobile Legend, do you usually play support? Do you play the tank? Or you play the DPS? Okay, those who game will know. All right, and that says a lot about what you value as a person. So, for example, if you like playing support, then maybe your true passion lies in helping others to succeed. Or if you play tank, then maybe you're more of a protector, a defender of the weak, and so on and so forth. So, what is your true passion? The second insight is affinity grows through mastery. And our affinity for a certain type of work often increases as we get better and better at it. Now, the author Daniel Pink, in his research on what truly motivates us, he found something fascinating, that it is not our initial passion that sustains us, but there are three key elements. The first one is autonomy, which is having control about our work, about how we go about what we are doing. The second is mastery, which is getting better at what we do. And the third one is purpose, which is connecting to something larger than ourselves. And when we develop mastery in an area, our work and our joy in that work will often deepen naturally. So it's like playing a musical instrument, learning a musical instrument. At first, it might feel awkward and challenging, but as we improve, then we started to find real joy in playing that instrument. The third insight is that, you will feel passionate about your calling all the time. And some days your work will feel amazing when you are in the flow, but other days it feels like a chore. And that is because, as Genesis 3 tells us, after the fall of man, when man sinned, sin entered the world and affected every aspect of human existence. There will be thorns and thistles, and like Adam, we will have to work the ground by the sweat of our brow. But if God has endowed you with the affinity for the job, there is still that sense of rightness and a growing commitment through all your easy and difficult days that will carry you through. So, in summary, calling is more than just doing what we love. It is about finding the greatest fulfillment of our purpose in life. And more importantly, it needs to be recognized by others. You can put in countless hours practicing something that you are passionate about, but if there is no true affinity there, there's no natural affinity there, if others can't look at your work and say, this is what they are meant to do, then maybe it is not your calling. So let's get practical now. I want you to take out a notebook, pause the video or audio, and ask yourself these three questions. Number one, what activities do you find yourself naturally drawn to? Number two, where do you find yourself losing track of time? And number three, what work energizes you even when it is challenging? So if you have done the ability exercise from our last episode, you may find that some of your answers would overlap with the ability questions. And that's a good thing, because when your natural abilities align with your growing engagement in your work, that is a strong indicator of calling. So what are your passions? Feel free to type in the comments below or email me if you would like a more personal conversation about your calling. Now, maybe you're thinking, but Marcus, I don't feel particularly drawn to anything right now. And that's okay, because depending on where you are in your life journey, there could be many, many types of work that you haven't tried before. And you can't feel passionate about something that you're not even aware of in the first place. So keep exploring, try new things, and keep reflecting on the experiences that come your way. And if something sparks joy in you, then maybe that is a clue for you to start looking in that direction. In our next episode, we will explore our third A, which is awareness. And that is to know the world's deep hunger, as Frederick Buechner would coin it, that you are uniquely positioned to meet. And remember that with every episode that you listen or watch, and as you do your homework of reflecting, you're one step closer to identifying God's calling in your life. So hey, before you go, I'd love to stay connected with you on this journey. Subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening to right now and visit me at embraceourcalling.com to learn more. Stay joyful and let's go forth to embrace our calling.